Now for Global Business Updates, Rotus Oddiri joins us this morning. Aruture,
yes. Shout out to Delta State. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Aditfemi, and all our viewers, all from Delta and around the world. We kick off with Asia. U.S. President Trump, again, this is coming from the U.S. side, announcing that there's a new deal with Indonesia, who, by the way, just cut interest rates a moment ago. They didn't have enough time to put in the numbers. I think they cut it to 5.2%. Anyway, 90% tariff from Liberation Day is now, 32% tariff from Liberation Day is now 19. Then they get duty-free exports to Indonesia. So they remove all duties, right? Coming in. Indonesia is also going to spend $15 billion on energy. We think that's going to be liquefied natural gas exports from the US. And they're also going to spend about $4.5 billion on agriculture. And then Indonesia is going to buy 50 Boeing jets. There was a prior deal where Indonesia was supposed to buy 49 jets from Boeing. They were mostly 737s. It was placed on hold. Maybe it was all the issues Boeing was having. Now they're going to buy 50. Again, this is coming from the U.S. side. And by the way, if anyone is wondering, the U.S. doesn't have that much trading with Indonesia. But we'll see if if the Indonesians confirm this. But Trump is really, he's really getting the deals he wants. Jensen Huang, CEO of Nvidia, is in China. Of course, there was the news yesterday that they are now going to be allowed to export the H20 chips, which is one of the most high-end AI chips, over to China now. The U.S., I guess, is thawing relations between the two of them. Here's a quote from what Huang, he praised them. He called Chinese AI world-class in his speech. He says models like DeepSeek, Alibaba, Tencent, Minimax, Baidu are world-class, developed here and shared openly, and have spurred AI developments worldwide. China Daily spoke to him. You have to excuse the music, because the Chinese, anytime somebody talks really well about them, they turn it into a social media moment. But Jensen Huang did praise China's focus on science, technology, its students in mathematics, and it's just the whole talk about AI and where China is going. So here he is.
Dynamic.
Why?
Well, that would be another word.
Yes.
As you know, China has always prioritized science and math, and China is home to some of the brightest computer scientists in the world. And artificial intelligence is at the intersection of computer science and mathematics, and so it stands to reason that China has many excellent AI researchers, and it's true. That's why we see so much advance. 50% of the world's AI researchers are here in China. And so those are the reasons why, the dynamism of the industry, the competition of the companies, there's so many entrepreneurs and so many great researchers here. When you put them together, amazing things happen.
All right, I think we'll go to the UK now. Rachel Reeves gave a speech yesterday as the Chancellor of the Exchequer, basically the UK Finance Minister, talking about some of the regulations that will be loosened. And she talked about ring fencing. And I guess just take a listen. I'll explain after she's done.
Third, I have committed to meaningful reform of the UK's ring fencing regime, recognising that now is the time to go further in tackling inefficiency and boosting growth, while retaining the aspects of the regime that support financial stability and protect consumer deposits.
Let's say I'm a UK bank. Adifemi is my retail sector where I take deposits from customers. Vimba is my investment banking division. I'm placing a ring around Adifemi to separate the money that is going, the deposits and so on, protecting the deposits from my customers from the more riskier investment banking forays that I'm going to be doing with Vimba. So it's separating the two of them. This was done after the financial crisis in order to reduce risk, right? Because of some of the risks that the banks took. However, the UK is stuttering. I mean, it is just tepid growth. They are really desperate now. Remember when she was crying in Parliament under a lot of pressure, although that was a personal issue, but still, you mix it in with what's been going on. The growth is not just that impressive. Also, inflation just came in literally this morning. Look at that, 3.6% headline. Core was 3.7. Services inflation 4.7. Bank of England's threshold is 2%. So inflation is heating up. Growth is slowing down. I mean, you're heading into a stagflation requirement. Anyway, the banks are saying that by ring fencing and separating capital for both, deposits from customers and also investment banking, it is tying them up. They want to be able to mingle some of those funds in order to be able to raise money. And so the UK, because of their desperate situation, they are saying, okay, that's fine. The issue though is that this raises risky behavior. I know it's like the whole moral hazard thing that could lead to what happened in the financial crisis back in 2008, 2009. Anyway, you guys remember Throwback Thursdays on social media, right? There's actually a Way Back Wednesday, and in honor of the UK, one of my favorite songs, Stutter by Joe. The UK economy is stuttering. You guys, if you haven't remembered this song from 2000, here's Joe, Stutter.
Stuttering, 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 baby don't stuttering, stutter, stutter. Okay.
She caught her stuttering. Anyway, yeah, that's.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you're gonna get in. Let me round of U.S. inflation real quick. I know you're U.S. inflation. Joe was great. Joe was hot in 2000. U.S. inflation coming in 0.3% month on month, right on bang on with estimates. Core came in under estimates. Headline came in, that is year on year, above estimates 2.7. Core 2.9 for the US came in just around estimate. We still haven't seen the tariff impact. However, if you look at some select goods, toys came in at 1.8%. May was 1.3. I mean, furniture rose from a deflation setting from minus 0.8 to 0.4. Appliances 1.9 from 0.8 in May. Look at window and floor coverings 4.2 from 1.2. So little by little, I mean, it looks like, prices are edging up for certain sectors. I think we'll round off in Nigeria. The NGX, the stock exchange, has hit a streak that hasn't been seen since January of 2024. It's been we've seen gains from the 1st of July to the 14th, so 14 days of gains. January 2024, it was, I think, about 19 days, so I think the 10th to the 29th. So because of the stable currency, inflation, in fact, we're supposed to get the inflation numbers for June later on today for Nigeria. That's why the stock exchange is hot. And then Dangote, and this was in this day newspaper yesterday, planning to build a new deep sea port in Ogun State, what he calls could be the largest one in Africa. That's our update.
Which is fantastic, because I don't think we've even scratched the surface of our maritime potential here in Nigeria.
That is bang on.
Right?
You are correct.
To see this expansion, for a country that has access to so much water. So this is great. Dangote again,
Dangote is doing it.
Always the visionary, always leading the pack. But I'm really interested in Indonesia and Donald Trump and sort of the bigger picture with China as well. Because I know they say we're pencils in the hands of the creator, but right now I think we're all just pieces, pawns. We're not even kings or queens or bishops. We're pawns on the chessboard between the United States and China. Because when you look at the Southeast Asian nations, this deal also mirrors the deal with Vietnam. I think you also mentioned that, which also gives the United States just total access to their markets. They're opening the floodgates. However, if you look at the China numbers that, unfortunately, we couldn't take business yesterday, but the China numbers that you would have brought yesterday that showed that exports, Chinese exports are up 5.8% year on year across the board. And the fact that when you break down that 5.8% year on year increase in Chinese exports, you'll find that 17% of that number is accounted for by Southeast Asian nations. So that's where I'm going with this.
And then routing them.
And then the other thing is that China is also in the works to remove all tariffs for anything coming from African countries, from majority of African countries. So this tango, as you like to call it, the Trump tango, the Chinese are playing it as well. And they're all making inroads. And it's interesting to see all of the the emerging economies coming to play, and I'm very curious to see what the outcome of this will be. Will they become dumping grounds? Do their countries even want that many American products? Indonesia is what, just top 25 countries that trade with Indonesia. So let's continue to see how it develops. But interesting for me, the highlight is that the playing field is now Southeast Asia, where it concerns the U.S. and China.
Yeah.
And let's see how that region navigates this.
Yeah. I mean, very interesting to see how it works out.
See, the truth about this tariff tango Trump is playing is that taco tango. He forgets that in terms of productivity, the world has left America long ago. He forgets. The delusion he has is, America's got the biggest market and all of that. But he forgets that market without productivity is a big problem.
Yeah.
Just like when he said he was going to provide weapons to sell for Europe, we will see in how many months Lockheed Martin is going to be able to turn those orders, or Northrop Grumman, to be able to turn those orders out.
Yeah.
Productivity in America is low. And that's why people like China, who know how to play the long game, are already waiting for him, and they will easily strike deals with other countries. Yes, we might not have, disposable income like America, but we do have a population size.
We have the numbers.
And those markets, they will look at. So he should keep deceiving himself. You already saw the trade numbers come out now.
Yeah.
He's already losing on the trade numbers because of that. And things are not favoring him. So he should continue. It's still easy to wreck an economy. In fact, Rachel Reeves has written a book, an hypothetical book, how to wreck the British economy, like she has done now.
Yeah.
And no, I say hypothetical book, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Because of bad policies and the like, you can see how easy for her to wreck the British economy. Trump too can easily write that hypothetical book, how to wreck the US economy.
Yeah.
So it's easy. They should continue. Let's see
how it goes.
Let's see how it goes.
I think Rufai has been quite strict with the UK Chancellor, as usual. I mean...
No, Femi, I said it before now. Keir Starmer had nothing to offer UK. I said it during the debate.
Adefemi, don't be
You
patriotic.
bet it. I said it. He had not... See, the UK made a big problem.
Yeah.
They will have left Rishi Sunak there rather than this Starmer.
We'll
see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. I thought it was diabolical of you to use Joe Starter in the way you did, but it's okay. We don't have time to get into that today.
Thank you so much. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.